everyone. It's Melissa and Michael.
Hi.
All right, today we are going to talk to you about the Springfield lifestyle and what it's like to live there. So just a quick sort of update about recap of where Springfield is. It is south of the Beltway, right outside, a little bit sort of is on the inside of 495. West Springfield and North Springfield kind of stretch up and hug the outside of the Beltway, and Springfield proper is like on the east and west side of 95. So it covers a pretty large geographic area. And then, you've got easy access also to everything, which is fantastic. So now we're going to dive into some lifestyle stuff. So let's talk about food. That's your thing. You want to talk about food?
Yeah.
All right, tell us.
Yeah, so Springfield has some of the, honestly, in my opinion, some of the best places to eat, some of the best places to frequent. One of my favorite places is the Swiss Bakery and Market Shop, and that's over off of Braddock Road. Absolutely love going in there. It's one of my favorite places to visit. The deli is so good, and their pastries are just incredible. They are absolutely sinful. It's just one of the places that when you walk in, it's so busy and there are so many locals there that you can tell it's just an establishment.
Oh, yeah.
And I really love that. Made to order sandwiches. One of the things that I also love is they have a lot of German and Swiss grocery ingredients that you can't get anywhere else, and might be hard to find. And so I love to go in there whenever I'm cooking a German dish, and I can get stuff if I can't make it over to like the German grocery over off Columbia Pike. So, one of the other...
I don't cook. I don't know what he's talking about.
One of the other places that I love to eat at whenever I go out, and when I was, filming some of the video for this video, I stopped at Yindi Thai, and that's over off of Old Key Mill. Some of the best Thai food in the area. I absolutely love them. I've been going to them for years. My best friend, who we talked about, who I sold her parents' house, she's the one that actually introduced me to that place, and so really love it. Definitely recommend it. And then one of my other favorite places is Bob and Edith's Diner. It is an institution in Springfield. I absolutely love this diner. It's the best diner.
And there's multiple, right?
Yeah.
There's one in Arlington.
Yeah, multiple locations. Yeah. So it's always busy, but it's worth the wait. It's never really that long of a wait.
No, yeah.
No. And it is a true diner. It is all mid-century.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. You walk in and when they bring out a white coffee mug with the blue ring around it, it's going to be good diner food. It just has such a great energy. And they know how to cook eggs perfectly. And I'm sorry, if you're a diner, you need to know how to cook an egg in every form and fashion. So, and then also, if you want to go to more of the traditional, kind of big box restaurants, going over to the Springfield Town Center, there's a lot of the bigger chain restaurants. My favorite one to frequent is Yard House. They have great beers and great consistent food. I recently was in between meetings and went over there and sat down and had lunch at the bar. I did not drink in between the appointment, but went and ate and watched a soccer game while I was there.
You didn't buy this house.
Yes. So, it's a really great place. There's so many options. And then also the grocery store options are just incredible. H Mart is close by.
Yeah, don't discount H Mart. They have really good produce and it's cheap.
They do, and their meat is great too. I buy a lot of meat there as well. And Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, and then you have the more traditional options like Giant, Safeway. But one of the things that I love about Springfield, especially in a lot of the commercial spaces that hug like kind of Braddock Road in that area, there are a lot of international grocery stores. So you have everything from Afghani to Indian to a lot of the Mercados, and there's some other, there's a bunch of different, grocery stores from different regions. But I've just been fascinated by how good of a quality. One of the best African markets in the area is over there as well. So especially if I'm looking for ingredients when I'm cooking a recipe, it's one of the places that I will stop in between work, because I'm in Springfield a lot. And also because of the, Springfield Mixing Bowl and where its location is, you drive through it so much. So it's an easy, quick stop. So I definitely love going to those areas and shopping and eating. It's great.
You mean when I make my Ethiopian cabbage, which I have made, I just can't dump cumin in there and call it a day? Like, there's other things I can get?
Yes.
Who knew?
Yeah. And, one of the things else, too, what also is true that I really like frequenting is the Orkney Springs Distillery. Really great. And then also what's nice is you're a short, beautiful drive out to Paradise Springs in Clifton if you want to go to the winery for the day and make it a day trip without having to do the 45-minute to an hour drive out to Middleburg or to Haymarket. It really is nice. So I just can't say enough.
Awesome. All right. Well, that sounds great. All right. So what about fun? What kind of fun can you have here? Well, summer's coming, so let's talk about swimming. So some communities actually have their own pools. And so when you look up pools in Springfield, some of these pop onto the radar. And there's different sort of rules that govern who can go there. Sometimes it's just the homeowners association or the people in that association. Sometimes it's open to the neighborhoods. So Daventry, Danbury, Forest, Shannon Station Pool, which is at Keene Mill Village, and the Timbers are some of those communities that have access to their own pools. If your community doesn't have a pool, then there are membership-based pools, and they're all over Springfield. And like, when I say all over, they're all like, there'll be a pool and there's a pool like a mile away. Like, there's so many pools. So you've got, they're all sort of clustered in there, right? So places like the Springboard Pool is not only a pool, but they've got movie nights, volleyball, ping pong, shuffleboard, social events. A family membership there is $595. There is currently a wait list, but they didn't give an indication of timing. There's Springfield Swim and Racket Club, which is $535 for a family membership. North Springfield Swim Club, for those only living in North Springfield, apparently they do check your address to make sure that you live there. That's $550 for a membership. These prices might seem, I don't know, if you're not coming from the area, they're going to seem maybe high. If you are in the area, you're going to think they're low. It's because they're only open from Memorial Day to Labor Day, typically. Village West Pool has a variety of membership options, but for families, the cost is $545 up to 4 family members, and then it jumps to $610 if you have 5 family members or more. Canterbury Woods Swim Club is just north of Braddock Road. Their membership fee is $625. It does require you to buy something called a pool bond. You can try the pool for a year without purchasing the pool bond, which is $300. Then you have to purchase if you plan to remain a member. Rolling Forest Recreation Association is a nonprofit serving the residents of West Springfield. Residents of the Winter Forest HOA and Rolling Forest subdivisions are called charter members. They're automatically allowed to join when you purchase a house there. Winter Forest, you're required to join. Rolling Forest, you have an option to join. But then what happens is if you don't join right away, you lose the right to the membership, and then other things happen. You can never become a voting member, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so there's Parliament Pool Association, there's Walden Glen Swim and Racket, there's several others, including Orange Hunt Swim and Tennis, Rolling Valley Swim and Tennis, Fox Hunt Swim and Tennis, and Saratoga Recreation Group. So if you're looking for more like year-round fun, then you can consider areas to visit like Lake Accotink Park. There's a 3.8-mile trail that goes around the lake. The park hosts a variety of outdoor and nature-themed programs in the form of classes. They do camps. They've got summer camps that they host. You can do bird watching.
Yeah, one of the cool things about the park, too, is it's literally in the middle of some of the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So if you live right near it, you literally can access it every day.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's like Disney World being in the middle of Florida.
Yes, it is.
So, there's kayaking. There actually you can go out on the lake. There's mountain biking, mini golf, hiking. There's a carousel there, so that kind of makes it fun for, kids of all ages, to include families. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is the St. James, which is a sports complex. We're going to talk about it here, and also when we get to the kids section, we're going to talk about it again.
Yeah. So
cool. You've been in there, right?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wish that. Yeah, it's so fun even as an adult when you look in at it. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's like every single sport you could ever think of in your life has fields in there that they use for it. So it's like walking into a spa/college campus in heaven. It's amazing. So there's a water park in there, lacrosse and soccer fields. There's basketball courts, baseball fields, football, volleyball, softball. There's an ice house for ice skating and ice hockey.
Yeah.
There's cheer, dance, gymnastics, climbing, golf.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You'll never run out of things to do there, which is so cool.
No.
Yeah.
No. And then there's also a zip line park. Have you been there?
No.
The Go Ape? No, I did one up in Maryland. It's people talk to me about them and they're like, oh, the kids are just all in the trees. I'm like, I don't really know what you're talking about until I actually see it. I was like, I'm like, now I get it. So there's zip lines that connect from tree to tree. So there's Go Ape Zip Line and Adventure Park. That's at the South Run Recreation Center, which we're also going to talk about in a second. There's several different options for the zip lining of various abilities and levels, right? So you can go in and kind of do one sort of track, which isn't going to be, the platforms won't be as high, the lines won't be as long getting from tree to tree. The kids love it. We did a school trip there at the beginning of the 5th grade this school year, and I thought that Mercina was going to be like, nope, right out of there. Yeah. She did it, and it was a really cool bonding experience for the kids because they all get up there and then they realize if somebody gets scared, they just help each other figure out how to get down. Nobody was making fun of anybody. It was really sweet and endearing to see it.
That's cool.
So, yeah. All right. So then let's talk about the South Run Recreation Center, too. There's a lot there. They've got group fitness classes. Yeah. They also host the zip line park. Fitness, swimming. There's a field house there, which has a synthetic turf for most sports that you could possibly do. And then there's trails and basketball courts and baseball, softball diamonds, soccer.
There's really between those couple of places, it really is, there's nothing that you're going to want for.
Oh, I know.
It's incredible.
I know. Every time we do a video on one of the suburbs, I get so mad because I'm like, why do I live in the city where I have to drive 20 minutes to a pool? Unless I want to go to a public pool and then you can stand in there like this. Yeah. And you can watch Band-Aids and dirt floating by. No joke there. All right. So, one other thing, you want to talk about the schoolhouse?
Yeah, I love this schoolhouse. It's so cool. So the Seidenstricker Schoolhouse was built in 1928. And what's really amazing is that they've kept this as a community center. You can they will rent it out for 3 hours at a time. That's the max rental amount to nonprofit organizations for free.
Oh, cool.
For them to use it as spaces. And if you want to do anything like photography or a meeting, something to do outside of the bounds of being a nonprofit, you can pay to actually use it.
I have a nonprofit. Can I bring the corgis there and we can all sit at little desks in the schoolhouse?
You probably could.
These corgis need to be adopted.
Yes. And one of the cool things is that it stands as a piece of history, that remains nearly unchanged for the past 90 years. It's so cool.
That's great.
Yeah, it was it was among the last operating single-room schoolhouses in Fairfax County.
Cool.
Yeah, it's such a cool, and it is nearly intact.
History with Michael Sheridan.
Yeah. The more you know.
We need the star.
Yeah.
Andy might be able to do that for us.
Yes.
All right, so now let's talk about kiddos. So what's their life going to be like here? Well, people move to Springfield because it's an affordable suburb of DC with really great schools for the most part. There's a few exceptions, but check the great school scores. Pretty much everything is a 7 and an 8 for the most part, with there's a few mid-level scores in there. We all take a dive at middle school, absolutely all of us. And the grade school scores are based on tests, so that's the other thing. It's they're currently doing the testing now in our elementary school, which ends up turning into what those grade school scores are. Yeah. So some people argue that, you can manipulate because the teacher just teaches them exactly what they need to know to get on those tests, and then the teachers in the school is incentivized. If they do well, they get bonused from the school district and all that. So literally everything's political and a racket. So that's that. So West Springfield, Saratoga, Cardinal Forest, Ravensworth, Crestwood, Forestdale, Garfield, Springfield Estates, and Lynbrook elementary schools all have pre-K through the 6th grade. So this is something a little bit different here. This is one of the few areas we're going to see where they actually go through 6th grade at elementary level. Reston's another one. We'll talk about that in a separate video. Rolling Valley, Keene Mill, Hunt Valley, Orange Hunt, Sangster Elementary, they are serving kindergarten through 6th grade, so they've got no preschool there. Then there's Kings Park, which is kindergarten through 3rd grade, and then once you finish that, you go to Kings Glen, which is 4th grade to 6th grade. North Springfield Elementary School is actually pre-K through 5th, and the reason that that's 5th is because it's in a different region, and it feeds to Annandale schools after you leave the North Springfield Elementary. So the middle schools are either Irving Middle, Key Middle, which serve only 7th and 8th grade. And then for high school, it's either Lewis, West Springfield, or Annandale High School. And so the 5 regions that make up the Fairfax County schools actually all converge right here. So when you live in Springfield, you have the potential option for being one in 3 different regions, which means they call that the pyramid, like where you're going for high school, that they could be different. It used to be 8 regions, and they had to broaden that because they said that socioeconomically it had essentially, like when the regions were smaller, you have some areas where the socioeconomic status of people may be lower, or maybe English isn't their first language, and those schools were getting hit harder because they try to bring, a multitude of different abilities with kids into the school to kind of help sort of
uplift
raise everybody up.
Yeah.
Right. So, so that's that. So you're going to find a lot of, like I said, excellent school scores here, 7 to 10 range. You'll look at reviews online. They are all excellent as well. Even places like Google where that stuff is, you'll get a mom that talks about it or a dad, and then you'll get a kid that'll be like, this school sucks. I hate my 9th grade English teacher, right? But you get to read through those, and you can actually, they're real, more real than I would say what you're seeing with just a great school score. So the one thing in there is on the east side of Springfield, Lewis High School is it's not as well ranked score-wise as West Springfield is. So like West Springfield was like an 8 or 9, and Lewis is like a 3 or 4. So there's definitely a disparity there. That's going to be closer to like 95 in that corridor there. There's other great things for kids in Springfield too. So we talked about some of them in the last section of fun, the parks and things, pools and all of that. But so many of the parks have playgrounds. Kings Park Community has 4 separate playgrounds alone that service their 1,100 residents. And then the Timbers has Brookfield Park, which has a great playground. They've got, a few of those as well. Sky Zone Trampoline Park is there.
So cool.
Have you been in one of those?
Trampoline parks, yeah.
Have you jumped?
No.
Oh, I can't jump. So, I was stupid. I went with the kids, the first time, and I was like, I'm jumping. I was so excited.
Yeah.
And, at my age, when you jump, you feel every vertebrae in your spine.
Yes.
I was like, ow. Oh.
Yeah.
So you just don't see the parents jumping, apparently. We're all on the side. Some of these Sky Zone places have massage chairs, and the kids come, and I'm like, they're like, can we get a Slurpee at the snack shack? And I'm like, here's some money. Go, get away from me. I'm getting massaged.
It's so true.
Yeah. All right. And then the St. James again. So in addition to all the sports things, it's so amazing. We have to talk about it twice. Jim always says, New York, New York. The city so twice, they named it twice? Yeah. The city so nice. Yeah. So the St. James is so great that we have to talk about it twice. So inside there, they've got a thing called Super Awesome and Amazing, which is like a mini zip line park. It's just inside, right? Yeah. And you're all suited up, and you're not gonna go anywhere. But yeah, the kids can walk across the lines up, above or whatever. They've got virtual reality games there as well. And then, we were there. It took 2 to 3 hours for them to sort of be done with everything in there. So that was kind of awesome too.
Yeah, I think one of the cool things too is that, the kids are done. They're spent. By the time they get out of there, because there's so much to do. Yeah. That they just dive into everything. And I think that's what's so cool.
But I think you have to live close, because here's what happened to me. I took the girls and then their 2 friends across the alley, Noah and Zach, and they all fell asleep in the car on the way home. Yeah. Then you get home and everyone's like, we're up! And I'm like, no. I just drove us half an hour back home. Yeah. I want to sit in my chair. Yeah. All right, have you been to Hidden Pond Nature?
Yes.
You have? Okay.
Yes.
Tell us.
Yeah. So, the trails in the Nature Center are awesome. You can check out a lot of the programs that they offer. They do a lot of classes. You can see the live animals, and then you can peruse all the books and items about nature. And that's what's so cool about it is interactive. Yeah. And I really do like it. I think it's just a really cool place to go learn about nature. It's very immersive. And so I think that the kids, even if you're not a kid, an adult, I'm fascinated by nature. Mm-hmm. Who doesn't love watching all the nature shows? It's one of those things that when you can really dive into it, you really learn so much more. And I think it's a really fun way to connect kids, especially because Springfield is so lush. And if you do live near one of the creeks, when I lived in Alexandria, there's one of the creeks that's right near Woodley Hills Elementary School. Oh my God, I used to go play in that all the time. So to be able to kind of connect those things from a science and kind of information-based level as a kid, and then being able to play with them on your own as well. Yeah. That's just such a cool experience.
Yeah, it seems like they host field trips and stuff there, which is a pretty cool thing
Yeah.
to have so
Yeah.
close to you.
Yeah, really cool.
So, and then there's all the usual stuff that you would have in the suburbs, right? Like there's a studio for piano if your little one's interested in piano lessons. There's Perfect Pitch Music Studio where you can, do voice lessons or piano lessons, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a burb, that's got kind of everything for everybody. And I feel like we say that a lot, but Springfield's geographically like larger.
Yeah.
So I think it just encompasses, so much more area, and there's so much that's there, really. So
yeah.
I hope
mean,
that gives you a flavor of the lifestyle.
Yeah, it's one of the places, especially for me, who I live in DC, I drive into Springfield, and because of the location of it, I can get there quickly. And then also, you're not a far drive into Old Town, then you're also going to be, all the activities in Old Town, and then also going over to like the harbor.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, super great location.
Yeah.
All right, so that was that. If you guys have any questions about Springfield, what it's like to live there, our contact info is going to come next.